stops, launches he's got it! Touchdown Chargers! What a throw!
This is the Chargers World Podcast.
What's up, Bolt fam? Welcome to episode 6 of the Chargers World Podcast. I'm your host, Greg, alongside Garrett and Jarrett. Excited to talk Chargers football with you guys today. Feel like it's been a while. We took a nice long break this week, closed the week out talking Chargers football, and we have a fun episode for you guys as always. Starting it off right away with Cam Hart and the recent news about his shoulder injury and the surgery that he had. He's going to be missing some time. Hoping to have him back by minicamp. Jared, tell us a little bit about his history with shoulder surgeries. Are you concerned? What do you think about Cam Hart moving forward?
So, yeah, I think with him, this is his fourth shoulder surgery, I think that was, and 3 at Notre Dame. So I think that there's definitely reason for concern. And I don't know if we knew that prior to the draft, and that's maybe why he was a 5th-round pick. But no, it was 5th or 6th?
5th.
5th, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so maybe that's the reason why he fell the way he did. But the way he plays, there's definitely a reason for concern. And he may have to go through some technique things like Derwin had to after the hit he laid on what was it, Dunlin from Indianapolis? That
Colts, yeah. Got kicked out of the game for that.
Yeah, that was it was clean. But, yeah, I think there's definitely reason for concern. But, Garrett, what do you got?
Yeah, I just think as a DB, he doesn't need to lay the hammer. I remember, I think it was Tampa Bay when he got his, I believe, second concussion this past year on Mike Evans, but he didn't need to hit him that hard. Mike went up in the air. All he had to do was kind of shove him. He didn't come down with the ball regardless, or just go for the ball, grab his arms. Don't, lay the thunder on the shoulder that has had surgery at that point 3 times, and the concussion that he already missed 2 or 3 games coming up to that, I believe. Because again, I was reading about them on ESPN. Chris Ram was talking about both DBs still and Hart was the starter last year. It was Zont, Fulton, and Cam. I didn't remember this. I don't know if you guys did either when I was reading the article. Still didn't suit up the first 4 games.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And then Cam got hurt. Fulton missed a little bit of time, and then of course Zont with the season-ending shoulder neck, stinger that had nerve damage, and still performed better than Hart. And it was shocking to me that still again had the season he did, missing those 4 games, Hart going down as well. But I just think he's again, like Jared said, he needs to learn how to tackle or just shove. People in there, don't come down hard on him. Let Dayon or Denzel or Derwin or Lowy, get the running backs, through the gaps. So just fundamentals, but I think we do. Jared's been saying it in our chat the whole time, and Greg, you've been piggyback off him. We need to sign a veteran at that point. Gilmore, Rasul Douglas.
That was my next point.
Yeah, of course. Go
and
ahead.
Maybe Zont.
I don't see them bringing him back solely because of his inability to tackle in the open field. He's a great corner. We saw what he did against Jacksonville. He's electric. I feel like he's got that motor in him. I just don't think that under a Minter defense, somebody can get away with missing so many tackles, especially because it seems like it always comes at a crucial moment, 3rd downs, or even when they're going for it on 4th.
Jacksonville set him up.
Jacksonville did set him up.
I was about to bring it up that the end of the playoff game, it was Zont's side. And Greg, I was going to say, with the inability to tackle, he reminds me of an older version of, I'll bring this name up, he was disgusting interception-wise, was Marcus Peters. He got cut by Oakland and the Rams. The Rams benched him a few times for his inability, like you said, Greg, to tackle.
Very similar corners, too. They're both zone-heavy corners.
Yeah, that's actually a great comp.
Don't like tackling. Don't like the physicality of press also. You know what I mean? They got beat off press, and they like to settle and jump the routes of a lot of the receivers and reading the quarterbacks.
Like, he's a ball hawk, no doubt about it. He can intercept the ball. He can stick with them. He's a smaller corner. I believe he's 5'9". So again, when you're trying to have a physical defense, it's not just about the D linemen. I think the mentality that the Chargers have, it's being physical all around. All 11 guys on defense have to be physical. They have to be able to tackle and communicate. And I just never saw it. Even with him sitting out last season, I said his time with us is done. He's not going to suit up for the Chargers anymore. Really do wish him the best. I don't see him coming back. But a couple points I wanted to make off what you said, Garrett. One was for Cam Hart and one was for Tarheeb Still. I don't know if you guys remember Cam Hart's tackle on Chris Olave when we played the Saints last year.
Very
Do you
high
guys
tackle.
remember? Do you guys remember how hard he checked him?
Yes.
Olave just grabbed the ball, and this, poor Olave has been going down with concussions like every single season, and he just seems to be on the bad end of these big hits from these corners. And I just remember that one specifically. I even posted about it because it was very Derwin-esque, and Cam's pretty sleek. He's tall. I believe he's 6'2", like 185, 195, but he hits like he's a safety. He hits like Derwin sometimes. And again, when you have that history of shoulder injuries, you got to be a little bit careful. I know you want to fire your team up. I know you want to make a big play. You could still make a big play and preserve yourself. You mentioned last week, Garrett, we're hoping to have him for 4 or 5 seasons. 4 shoulder surgeries at this stage of his career. You got to be very careful. Got to be a little bit more calculated with the tackles. Second point, Tarheeb Still, again, didn't start for us till 4 or 5 games into the season last year. I saw some off-season footage of him doing drills. His footwork looks fluid. He looks like a 5-6 year vet in the NFL. He's got great hands, and a lot of analysts say like he's got the potential to be a top 10 corner in the NFL this upcoming season. And again, that just talks about how great Ortiz and Harbaugh are at drafting and finding these guys in the 5th round. And I look forward to seeing how our 5th and 4th and 6th rounders pan out this year, because in the past, it was like, all right, day 2, day 3 pick, what do you expect, But now with this front office, it's just like, hey, day 2, day 3 picks, they could end up being starters on this team. So those are the 2 points that I wanted to make. Really hope that Cam Hart can stay healthy. Really excited to see Tarheeb continue to develop and be that star corner that we need. A little bit more on these rookies. We've been seeing some footage, not a lot. Seems like the Chargers are sort of gatekeeping some training camp footage, some OTA footage, but we saw a little teaser of what Trey Harris and Justin Herbert look like and how their connection's been building. Garrett, what do you see there? I saw PFF post him possibly being the wide receiver 2 on the Chargers. How do you see Trey Harris continuing to build on that chemistry with Herbert, and where do you see him in that depth chart for next season?
I had real quick, Ray. I had to look up the stats real quick at Tarheeb Still from last year because one thing that we did notice, he's a smaller DB as well, but he can tackle. I've been bringing up that he could play outside. You guys know that I've been saying it. I think that his best interception last year was against Mike Evans, because Mike Evans is a first ballot bona fide Hall of Famer. He jumped in front of the route. Greg, he had 55 total tackles, half a sack, and 10 pass deflections. The biggest thing, and then, of course, the 4 picks and the 1 pick 6 against Atlanta. 55 total tackles, Greg. That's more than Zont. He can tackle. He can go up against those big guys. So, again, I love that you shouted him out saying he could be a top 10 corner. That analysts also think so.
And he, like we said, we only played 12, 13 games, so he could see his tackles jump up to 75, 85 this season, which is crazy.
And, again, he could play inside, outside, help him in or out as well. But again, I think, Trey Harris is, I would like how they see him the first couple games. I don't want to throw him out there like the old regime did with QJ. You know what I mean? Not rush him out there, but I definitely think Trey's going to be ready. Jared brought up the stats. If he was the number 1 or 2, college player, with the gap in between the DBs and everything like that, that separation. But just throw him in there. We have Mike, we have Vlad. But I definitely think he's going to have, bona fide playing time, up against those guys, first team offense. Just don't rush them as well. Jared might have something different to say about Trey.
Yeah, I think kind of bouncing off of you, I think it's going to be very similar to like how we saw Ladd last year. and how they're gonna like kind of slow play him, but he's gonna get the reps. Like he's gonna be in there, and he's gonna be start off at least probably competing for the number 3 spot with QJ and Mike, depending on how they see Mike. And we go back to those percentages that we've been using. If we get Mike, that Mike Justin connection was special for a little bit, and if you get that 70% of Mike, that would be great. And Lad, we've all seen the videos of Lad working out and how he's gained 10 pounds of muscle, and it's like his feet look good. He's a dog. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be our number 1. And how they see the receiving room after that. Does QJ take that next step? Does Mike Williams stay healthy? Does Trey Harris step up? It's going to be interesting to see the wide receiver room and how that kind of pans out too, even after that too. And kind of going off the topic here, I saw Josh Allen throwing the ball to Josh Palmer a little bit. It was a little weird seeing that, but I wish Josh the best and hope he does well in Buffalo. I think we all kind of feel the same way. He kind of never really stayed healthy, and so that wide receiver 4 spot's now for grabs. Who wins that? Garrett's boy Jalen Reagor could be in there. Who knows? But
I was gonna bring up real quick, Greg, because again, we talked about it. I don't know if you brought up. I don't know if anyone did. I listened to Matt Money Smith and our favorite person, Daniel Popper, doing the 53. And Greg, you brought it up that we're going to do the 53 eventually. I think you're going to bring it up on this podcast. We're going to do it. They're talking about the wide receiver room, and it's very weird because there's one name that can't believe we're going to say it.
Can I take a guess?
It's the first. We all
Is
know
it Darius Davis?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's number 1. It's they were both very weird about him because there's no way we're going 7. They said there's no way we're going 7, and I don't think, because I think they think that we're going to go 4 tight ends. We could talk about this at the end, but I just wanted to throw this out real quick that with the wide receiver room, it's Lad, Mike, Trey,
KLS,
and QJ or somebody else, Reagor. It was just they just think it's a very weird room right now. If they bring someone else in.
It's weird, but it's competitive.
It is competitive.
And it could work out.
It definitely can work out, but it's just very strange.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like Tennessee with Treylon Burks. They have a bunch of different guys coming in, and he needs to step up because that's the worst. Not the worst. It's the top 5 worst trade of all time with how PFF rated AJ Brown the number 1 wide receiver in the last 3 years. Don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
The second most experienced wide receiver currently in our room is Jalen Reagor. Mike Williams is the vet. Jalen Reagor has the second most years under his belt. Correct me if I'm wrong. QJ's entering year 3. Lad's entering year 2. Trey and KLS are rookies. Darius Davis is entering year 3. Reagor is the second most experienced wide receiver in this room. We wanted youth. We wanted athleticism. We got it. But are we really banking on – I mean, I know I believe in him, but are we banking on Ladd McConkey as a year 2 wide receiver to already have that vet mentality in this wide receiver room? Mike Will's there, sure. How healthy is he going to be? How productive is he going to be? We hope that we get to see a little bit of the Mike Williams of the past, but Reagor's not. Other than experience, he doesn't have much on the rest of these guys. Quinn Johnston, I think they would be a little bit more hesitant to give up on. I think because he had a much better year than Jalen Reagor did. He showed improvement from year 1 to year 2. He's an in-house project. We drafted him with our first round. I think they're going to give Quinn Johnston 1 more year to really improve, to work on those drops, to work on that confidence like we mentioned. I know Matt Money and Popper talked about it, and they seemed a little bit skeptical or weird about QJ. I personally don't see a 53 without him for the upcoming season, unless there's a trade, right? Big unless. Unless there's a trade where someone really believes in him and comes in and they offer us something that's appealing to Harbaugh and Ortiz, and we trade Quinn Johnston away. I know Atlanta is trying to entertain some offers for Kyle Pitts. I know Atlanta doesn't have the greatest wide receiver room outside of their top two, Drake London and Darnell Mooney.
He had a year last year.
He had a great year last year. Absolutely.
He had a great year last year. Because I wanted us to possibly get him. Because it was a good deal. It was a cheap deal they got him to. It was a really good deal.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins was throwing some heaters to Mooney, and I remember watching that on Red Zone, like week in, week out. Like, wow, Darnell Mooney, like from the Bears. Now he's on the Falcons, and he's going crazy.
Yeah.
But, a team like Atlanta, if they want to trade Kyle Pitts, you could possibly offer Quentin Johnston and a day 2, day 3 pick, for example, for Kyle Pitts, who's wasting away in Atlanta. And QJ could go in and compete for wide receiver 2 with Mooney or be a pretty solid wide receiver 3 out in Atlanta. But other than a trade scenario, I don't see a situation in which QJ is dropped or cut from this team. I just don't see that happening.
I think another point that people aren't really it's been mentioned a couple times on my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now. Tomorrow starts the period where free agents don't go against comp picks. So you may see some moves tomorrow or the next couple of days where like a Keenan Allen can get signed somewhere or
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, and I mean
the DBs, Gilmore and Brazil Douglas, are the two top veteran DBs that have been on quality playoff teams that know playoff football, that are both physical big corners. Or Gilmore,
that's
not so
a good
much,
point.
But Douglas, but Gilmore's a physical tackler. I mean, DPOY.
Yeah, it's a good point from Jared because we know our organization now truly values comp picks. I'm sure a lot of other organizations are going to start following that formula. A lot of people have just been playing the waiting game and not really trusting that the guys that they want will be picked up before this deadline. So now good to know that the deadline's tomorrow. We might get some more activity, some more free agency movement, which will be interesting to see how that pans out. Zont is there, like we mentioned. J.K. Dobbins is there. Keenan Allen's there. A lot of these former Chargers, and we'd like to see where they end up. Are there possible reunions? Remains to be seen. One thing that also remains to be seen is whether Rashawn Slater's extension is going to happen anytime soon. So for the first time in his career with the Los Angeles Chargers, he wasn't present at OTAs. Granted, it's important for people to know that OTAs are not mandatory. They're not mandatory, so he's not getting fined for not being at the OTAs. But again, it's something to monitor. We know how valuable Rashawn Slater is to this team. We think he's going to be the highest paid tackle once they do work out a deal with him, and that's just the name of the game. The market is constantly moving upwards for tackles. Every year there's going to be a highest paid position setting a new record. So, Jared, what do you think? How far along are they? Do you see this happening soon? Do you see it sort of dragging out? And is Slater the type of guy that would sit out?
So I don't think he's like Trey Hendrickson where he's going to sit out any games and miss any games. I think the deal gets done soon. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried at all. I think Ortiz and Harbaugh know how valuable he is, and I think it's going to get done within the next couple of weeks.
Garrett, how about you?
Yeah, same way. Offensive linemen are weapons, like they said. He's top 3 in the position in the NFL right now, behind Trent and Tristan Wirfs. And I'm here in Tampa, so Tristan Wirfs got done around the same time in June last year, and he's gonna jump him to be the top dog at the left tackle position. Not worried at all. It'll get done within the month for sure, like Jared said.
And if you guys had to sort of project his contract, you play over the cap right now. Jared, what are you looking at? How big do you think his contract will be? How many years? If you had to guess.
What's Wirfs at now?
I was gonna Google it right now. So give me 1 sec because I need to see it because I couldn't.
I want to say he was 5 years.
I don't know that. 1 sec.
3?
5 year August 1st, so he was a little bit delayed. So he must have went to OTAs and training camp last year. My apologies. I thought it got
Yeah.
done June. 5 year, 140.
Yeah.
Overall,
Yeah,
there's
20,
I don't
26.
see guaranteed on here. So yeah,
Yeah,
5 year,
whatever it
140.
is. Yeah, so 5 year, 145. I think 150. I think that's the ballpark you're seeing for Slater.
30
I
million
think
a
it could be
season.
more. Yeah, probably right around there, which is about right. He
80,
deserves it.
88
Yeah.
guaranteed of that. By the way, 88 of
So
it is guaranteed
95
extension.
guaranteed, 95 to
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, I think I agree with those projections. Slightly
Yeah.
above Wirfs, and doesn't that mean Panay Sewell is up for an extension as well, or have they already gone one done with him?
I think that's next year.
That's next year because
Yeah,
Panay and
which
Slater were the same year.
No, Panay was
yeah,
with.
he was with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe
Same.
Sewell
They were
did get done.
because I'm interested. Sewell's gonna set the new high for
Um.
sure.
No, last year, 4 year, 112.
Wow, that's kind of a. I mean,
They wanted him done, bro. They they
wow,
they,
they
they
Good
were.
deal.
Hey, they were
that's a great
thinking
deal.
how that's a great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're thinking. They're thinking ahead of the game,
I'd be ecstatic to get Slater at 4 years, 112, but that's not going to
right?
happen. It's
No,
not.
not anymore, man.
Yeah, no,
Definitely
it's not
not.
happening now.
Interesting when we talk about tackles, something came up from the 2024 NFL draft that I hadn't heard before. It had to do with J.C. Latham, who was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. He mentioned Jim Harbaugh specifically told him, I'm going to be drafting you. The Chargers are taking you. And sort of messed with the odds. If you guys remember, the day before the NFL draft, Chargers were favored to draft J.C. Latham pretty significantly. And we were all kind of confused because we're like, we heard the Joe Alt rumors. We heard all these, Malik Neighbors. There was buzz around all these guys, even Brock Bowers. Out of nowhere, J.C. Latham comes into the mix like 48 hours before the draft. And we're like, how did this happen? So I think, and a lot of people think, they have this theory that Jim Harbaugh was trying to sniff out a rat within the organization. He was trying to see, like, hey, if I tell one or two people in confidentiality, like, this is our guy, we're going to take him. And then all of a sudden the news breaks and the odds shift. And he knows, like, hey, there's somebody in our organization that I can't trust. Crazy theory, but I don't see why else Jim Harbaugh would tell J.C. Latham that they're going to be drafting him, if there's truth to it. Garrett, interested to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, I think I texted you guys this because I watched the Bustin' with the Boys episode. I watched that clip. It was about 10 minutes long about his draft process, and Jim and Joe Ortiz saying that. And I told you guys, I texted you both that I think he really liked J.C. Latham. I think it was pretty believable. I'm not big on the rat thing in the organization. I just think that Joe Alt's dad, who is retired in the Chiefs organization, told Joe if he would deny or say he wouldn't play right tackle with Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz's offense, that we wouldn't draft him. We would have drafted J.C. Latham. So
Yeah.
I think Jim had a really good interview with J.C. Latham, and he liked him. And then he also had a really good interview with Joe. And I think Jim and Joe talked to the whole family, including his dad, or Joe talked to his dad and said, hey, I'll play right tackle. I don't mind switching. And they believe Joe, and they like Joe's, obviously, 6'8", great footwork. Everything. J.C. Latham told Taylor Lewan and Will Compton he had great footwork and everything. But I will, and I told you guys this, don't know if you saw the clip, but Taylor Lewan asked JC if it still bothers him, and he said yeah. And Taylor understands it because 2013 or 14, Taylor came out and the Atlanta Falcons told him the same thing, and Arthur Blank told him the same thing. Hey, we're going to draft you, and they drafted Jake Matthews after Taylor, and it still bothers him to this day. And JC wants to ask Jim Harbaugh, why didn't you guys draft me? What was it? What could I have done differently?
It's still
And
bugging him, which is crazy.
it just
It would
shows
bother me
that
too if I went to Tennessee.
Yeah.
100%. You know, I mean, Jared, you probably answered right there. I mean, what do you think about it, bro? You know,
So I kind of see both sides of it, where it's like, all right, maybe Jim is kind of sneaking around, seeing who's what. But in the same sense, I think they knew that Neighbors was gone. So I think they tried to screw with other teams to say, okay, we're going to take Latham. So maybe a Tennessee would try and trade up and kind of messed up, or whoever was trying to trade up and mess the board up somehow. Um, who knows what really went on and what was said. It could be Latham just thinking he had a good interview with Harbaugh, and Harbaugh was like, okay, like, we like you, whatever. And maybe the Chargers did think that Alt wouldn't be there, and I don't know. But I'm glad we did get Joe Alt at the end of the day, and we have him for the next X amount of years, and he'll get a nice extension too. It's not going to be the size of Slater's, but he'll get a nice extension. Hopefully him and Slater are the duo for the next 10, 15 years.
And I know we're all extremely happy with Joe Alt, but you always like to think in retrospect, if you were GM for a day and you had a time machine and the 5th pick comes up and Malik Neighbors and Joe Alt are sitting in front of you, but you know how each one of them is going to pan out for their rookie years. Garrett, who are you taking? Malik Neighbors to be a elite weapon for Herbert, or Joe Alt to have that two-headed monster on the offensive line with Slater?
that's really tough. I'd go Malik. You guys know how I feel. I threw my phone in the couch when we drafted Joe Alt. I think Malik is going to be,
Like Jefferson. You could say it like Justin Jefferson.
No. I wasn't because I was going to go back and be like, generational talent gets thrown out a lot.
Yeah.
And I say it a lot. But I really do believe Malik Neighbors is going to be in the next 2 years, wide receiver 1 or 2. I don't know if we could say that about Joe Alt. Because I just read Tristan Wirfs is the number 3 rated offensive lineman. Tristan Wirfs this year is rated the 3rd offensive lineman. Tristan's better than Rashawn. I'm sorry to say it. Tristan is.
But that's overall O-line. For tackles,
it is.
For tackles,
I know.
he's probably up there. Yeah, number 1, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I would think he would be number 1 regardless. Him or Trent Williams. Yeah. I mean, Trent's unbelievable. I would go Malik, man. I just think that.
That's fair.
It's different, man.
Yeah, I completely messed up. I thought the Giants were ahead of us. They were behind us.
Yeah, they were 6th.
But I said, I think they need. I don't think they had any thought of going Neighbors. Honestly, I think they were set on O-line, and I think they were set on getting Herbert protection. Which at the end of the day, when you look at it, and you have Ladd and you have Joe Alt, and it's hard to beat that draft, man. But at the end, I think it's easy to say Neighbors, but you can't be mad with Alt.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, it's like one of those, if you did get Neighbors, you probably wouldn't have taken Ladd. So if you look at it overall picture,
and you would still have the same hole.
You would still have that same hole on the right side. You'd probably have Pipkin starting at right tackle, which not a good thing.
I was just thinking, I couldn't imagine that Houston game without Joe Alt, and it was still horrible, man. It was so bad with 2 top 5 to 10 top 5, top 10 at their positions, left tackle, right tackle,
Yeah, it was bad with Joe.
Man.
Can you imagine how bad it would be without him? That would be scary sight to see. But we are going to get into a fun little game here where we get to be GMs again. This time, we get to select only from the all-time Chargers. We're going to be doing quarterback, running back, 2 receivers, tight end, 1 offensive lineman, 1 defensive player, and a head coach. And we're going to do a snake format, and we're going to be going from youngest to oldest. So Jared, myself, and then Garrett will pick again. So it's going to see if we can do better than we did last week.
We got to beat Jared this time.
We gotta
get
beat Jared.
even though he's going number one. He's going number one right now. We'll see what
Jared's
he does.
going number 1. He's got the first overall pick in the all-time Chargers draft, and can pick any position that we mentioned.
So, I'm going with my GOAT, my top Charger all time, Justin Taylor. Nah. I'm going with my guy.
The jersey's sick. The jersey's sick.
The greatest,
LT.
not only Charger, but the greatest TCU player of all time.
Facts.
And in my opinion, one of the best top 3 running backs in NFL history.
Yes.
So Jared's got LT, no brainer there. And Garrett, no, it's me. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm on the spot.
Don't age yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking down at my list. I'm just going to keep track of it on this piece of paper.
I got the same thing.
Pretty confused how to go here, if I go the greatest defensive player we've ever had and just snag him right away, or if I go the greatest tight end we've ever had, or if I go quarterback. I think I'm going to, because there's only one other guy that I could think of that would be elite at this position. So I have to go with Antonio Gates here, greatest tight end of all time. Garrett, you got back-to-back picks.
I go back-to-back. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty easy for me right now. I'm going to go Rivers as my quarterback.
Okay.
And I think this is a no-brainer for you guys. I mean, you guys will probably both guess. I'm going to go number 2.
Keenan.
It's a no-brainer. Facts. The best wide receiver we've ever had. We need to bring him back. I'm going to bring back that old tandem right there. I'm going to go Rivers and Slater.
Slater? All right.
Or Slayer. My bad. Keenan. Yeah. No, not old lineman yet. No lineman.
Okay. So Rivers is gone. Keenan's gone. LT's gone. Gates is gone.
Who you going with, Gray? You gonna go Staley as head coach real quick? Just get it off the board, bro.
I'm gonna leave that for Jared, man. I feel bad.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna go. He's gonna go Staley and Jasir Taylor back to back real quick and just call it a day.
Yeah, real quick.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna go Junior Seau here. I have to.
Good pick.
I have to go Junior. He's arguably the best Charger defensive player of all time. RIP Junior, number 55.
Of course.
One of the first jerseys that I bought, and just watching his highlights growing up and understanding why he means so much, not only to the Chargers, but to the city of San Diego. So we got to go Junior there. Jared, your back-to-back picks here.
I'm going to go Kellen Winslow.
Wow. Great.
And Charlie Joyner.
Okay. So you got your receiver and your tight end.
Yes.
Damn, I did not see that going. Okay. Wow. He left that open for you, Greg.
Yeah, he left it open for me to really be able to get either Drew Brees or Justin Herbert, if I'm being honest with you guys.
For sure.
Because Garrett has a quarterback, Jared doesn't, so
I like my options late.
It is cool because I'm just like, I don't have to worry about one position at all anymore. Like,
I don't have to take quarterback right now, actually. I don't have to. I could take someone else because you're going to pick twice, so I'm chilling on. Yep. I'm not taking quarterback here.
Definitely not. I'm not taking tight end until probably my last pick, to be honest with you guys, for real.
I need a wide receiver. And Winslow's gone. Keenan's gone.
Joyner's gone.
Bambi? No. Give me Lance Altworth.
There we go.
Give me Lance. Now you got back-to-back, Garrett. Being in the middle sucks. You don't get any
It's
back-to-backs.
tough.
You need a running back, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get. I'm gonna go RIP as well.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna go Vincent Jackson
I knew that was coming.
as my wide receiver too. And let me go. My bad, Greg. You need a running back, right?
I do.
Okay. Let me go. I'm gonna go Darren Sproles.
Ooh.
I love that. Took my pick.
Okay, because I had someone else in mind as well at a different position that I'm like, you know what? I don't think you guys will draft him. All right.
It's all good.
I think I have an idea what you're doing.
Okay.
With me or with Garrett?
Garrett, I think I know who you're talking about at least.
I will be. I think you do as well. He's behind me as well in one of my placements of my room.
Oh, no. Maybe I'm wrong then.
Okay, I want to hear him on the next pick. Let's hear it, Greg. What you got, brother?
I'm not taking him, but
Okay.
no, I thought you were talking about a running back.
Oh, I know,
taking
Greg.
the-
You gotta take him now, Greg. You have to. You gotta take one of them.
Nah, I'm taking Drew Brees, and that's only because of I've seen a larger sample size. I've seen him win a Super Bowl. I've seen him be one of the most efficient
I
quarterbacks
didn't
and
take
one of my
Brees.
favorite quarterbacks.
Come.
So I'm
he
taking
came
Drew
back from
Brees.
He came back from that
The
shoulder
shoulder.
surgery that people said he can't do it. You know, he proved everybody
Yep.
wrong.
Yep. So shout out
And
Brees.
that's a layup for Jared. Go ahead, Jared. Your boy.
I'm not taking him now.
You don't have to. I know. I wanted to see if you
Well,
would. You could just. That's your last pick now.
So I'm gonna start the O line train. I'm gonna take. We just spoke about him a ton. I'm gonna take Slater. I think there's options there, but I think Slater will be one of the best Chargers O linemen. So I'll take him, and I'm gonna take my wide receiver too,
Don't
and
do
go
it.
with Mike Williams.
Okay. Solid. Solid.
It was between Mike and Vincent. For me, it really was. But I was like, you know what?
I have another one in there.
Let me take
but
an
I feel
OG.
like
Let me take an
with
OG.
the way my
All right. I have my wide receiver too. So I already got Lance Altworth. So imagine Drew Brees, who was so good with Michael Thomas, aka Slant Man. Now imagine if he had Lad McConkey in the slot. So I'm taking Lad McConkey as my wide receiver too.
Garrett, this one's on a plate for you.
Stupid. For defense, I'm gonna take a guy who's been around. I'm gonna take an edge.
No.
He's been around. He's been around the team for a long time. Okay, I mean he loves it. He bleeds. He bleeds us. You know what I mean? He had a couple great years. I'm gonna take Sean Merriman. I'm gonna take lights out.
I love
Oh,
that.
wow.
One of my favorite players. And you got another pick as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. My bad. I gotta type it in. I'm gonna go head coach. This one, I'm gonna start off with the head coach train here. I texted you guys who I wanted, but I'm gonna veer a different way. I'm gonna take a coach who has been to the Super Bowl, has won a national championship in college as well, and I'm gonna take Coach Harbaugh.
Love that.
Took my guy.
Who do you think?
I'm gonna
Now we're gonna ask Jared. Who do you think I was gonna take? Cleo Mack?
No, the defense, I thought you were taking Khalil Mack, but when you said running back, that could be a different position. I thought you were talking about Danny Woodhead.
Oh my gosh, number 39. No, no.
I thought you were talking about like all like around like kid. I don't know. I just was like, oh
No,
my
it
god,
was
it would be crazy.
there was another guy. Do you need a running
I'm
back,
curious
Greg?
to hear your rankings, like who you guys had after this.
I do need a
I
running
would love
back,
it.
but none of you guys do. So I'm just gonna wait for running back to be my last pick.
Okay.
Um,
What do you need,
so
Greg? I'm sorry.
I need a running back, O lineman, and a head coach. And
Okay.
you took my guy, Jim Harbaugh, so I have to take Marty. I got to take
Yes.
Scott Neimer. So that's my head coach.
He's great.
Went
He just had
went
bad luck.
14
Bad
and
luck.
2. Went 14
Bad
and
luck.
2 and got fired because of Marlon McCree. But still one of the greatest Chargers coaches in my opinion. So I'm taking Marty.
I think he won the most games of all time, Greg, in like a regular season, like record wise, without going to the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't doubt
Sure.
it being a Charger
A weird
stat.
stat. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with career wise, and Garrett just said it. I need defense, quarterback, and head coach. I'm gonna take Khalil Mack,
Yeah.
defensive player of the year. Had led the league in sacks a couple years ago. He's an absolute beast. I love Khalil Mack. I'm glad he's with us.
I thought that's the route Garrett was going when he said edge. And
Me
I
too.
was like, oh, yeah. I was like, okay. But then he threw me that curveball. But I mean, I love Merriman. So it's either pick. You can't go wrong.
I just think of I know guys like hey, Sean Merriman.
Defensive
You know.
rookie of the year, I believe. He had like 15 sacks
Yeah.
as a rookie,
Yeah.
which is crazy. So
And
shout
then
out
I'm gonna take
lights
my
out.
head coach. The winningest coach in Charger history. I'll take Sid Gilman.
Sid Gilman.
Jesus.
Just strictly off wins.
I love it.
That's the only. I know nothing else. Just strictly off wins, and he's the most winningest head coach. And I could take Don, but I'm taking Sid Gilman.
I love it. You're all about the W's.
Just wins. That's it.
That's absolutely nuts, and I'm here for it.
that's
Sid
so
Gilman
funny.
mentioned episode 6. Sid Gilman mentioned in the
Sid
Chargers
Gilman,
World
let's get
podcast.
it. I wish
Just
you chose
wins,
Mike
that's it.
McCoy just off of just wins. That's it. Love it. I'm sorry. That's so funny.
So I'm gonna go lineman here because I'm saving running back for last. You guys don't need it. You could go a lot of different ways here. Slater was taken. Alt's out there. I'm thinking a little bit of it like older. I think Chris Dillman was the best guard we've ever had.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with personally my favorite center that we've had, which is no knock to Corey Lindsley at all. He was an All-Pro. He's a great player. But I'm going with our current coach Nick Hardwick as my center.
Garrett's tight.
Yeah, that was definitely mine. I'll just be real quick. I'm just gonna take Corey Lindsley.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
And are you done, or you have one more? Right?
I got to go back. I got tight end, and I'm like just hurting right now.
This is where I
I
was
could-
stuck.
Yeah,
Hey, there's Hunter Henry out there.
That's who I have as my third.
I know, and I'm just
I don't know anybody else.
I'm thinking I got a couple names right now, man, that I might just throw out that
Dude, Gates dominated at that position for us for like almost 2 decades, so it's kind of hard to remember
know.
before him who was there.
Darius Green, right?
There,
That was his name.
Jared Cook for
Yeah.
a couple
Randy Reddy?
seasons.
Miami
Yeah.
Dolphins great. I played with him in Madden. Randy McMichael was on our team. Just pulling out names right now, but I'll just keep it. I'll keep it easy and probably just just Hunter Henry. I'll
Hunter
be fine
Henry?
with it. Hunter
All right.
Henry, yeah.
My final pick is going to be running back. Obviously, LT and Sproles are taken. Who's been the most successful running back outside of those two? It's Austin Eckler. So I'm going with Austin Eckler for this high-powered
Melvin
offense that I have.
I thought
I'm
it was
not
Melvin
taking-
Gordon. I had.
I'm
Melvin
not
Gordon as
taking
3.
Melvin Gordon. No, I'm not taking Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. Honestly.
What about Fresno State great Ryan Matthews?
Ryan Matthews. I haven't. It's not up here.
Yeah, don't bring it out, Jared. It's okay, brother.
I have his autograph on a napkin.
Oh,
Ryan
that's sick. Never
Matthews
mind. Bring
was
it.
he was
Help
such
me to stay
a
healthy.
I would rather take Omarion Hampton now without knowing anything than to take Melvin Gordon or Ryan Matthews. Just saying.
Oh, Jared has a defensive player.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Quarterback.
Oh, okay, quarterback.
Justin
okay.
Herbert.
That's fine.
taking
Just
Herbert.
bring him out. You know.
Yep, I'm taking
Chase Daniel.
Herbert.
Chase
Yeah,
Daniel.
Chase Daniel. Trey Lance.
Dan
Yep.
Fouts snubbed.
Yeah, I have
yeah.
to take Herbert.
Have to. Those are we took the top 3. It's easy.
Yeah.
Final tallies on teams. Jared?
So I got Herbert quarterback, LT running back, Joyner and Mike Dubb as my receivers, Kellen Winslow as my tight end, Slater as my offensive lineman, Khalil Mack as my defensive player, and Sid Gilman the GOAT. That's the winningest head coach.
I love it.
Love it.
I got quarterback Drew Brees, running back Austin Eckler, wide receiver Lance Altworth, wide receiver Ladd McConkey, tight end Antonio Gates, offensive lineman Nick Hardwick, defensive player Junior Seau, head coach Marty Schottenheimer.
QB Phillip Rivers, RB Darren Sproles, wide receiver 1 and 2 Keenan Allen, Vincent Jackson, tight end the Hunter Henry, O lineman Corey Lindsley, defense lights out Sean Merriman, and head coach Jim Harbaugh.
So who else did you guys have as like your defensive players?
I had Derwin, I had Eric Weddle, I
Shout
had
out your
Joey
boy,
Bosa.
Gary. Now's your time.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure. I got you. Don't worry, Greg. I thought you were gonna say him. I had the same people. I had
That's why I cut
Derwin
him off.
James, Eric Weddle, and then of course, 2007 version. That's it. 2007 version of Antonio Cromartie.
Specifically
Yeah.
07.
Specifically, that's it. Just 2007 version Antonio Cromartie. And then don't know what year, but I think we all loved him when he played his 2 years, I think, out of 4 or 5 with us when he's healthy. Just had bad luck with injuries. When he
Jason
went to San
Verrett?
Francisco, good shit.
Yeah.
Jason Verrett.
I love
Dog,
Jason Verrett.
man.
What
Jason
could
Verrett.
have been? What could have been? with
EB,
Jason
shut
Verrett?
him down.
I got another good. What could have been as well when we signed him. Defensive Player of the Year with the Colts. He played free safety. He hit so hard and got hurt so much. Bob Sanders. We had him for 1 year. He played like
It's-
3 or 4 games with us and got hurt. He just
Yep.
played too hard and just couldn't handle it.
Outside of Khalil Mack, the Chargers haven't had the best luck at bringing in star defensive players. J.C. Jackson with recent memory, right? It's just like Khalil Mack ended up working out so great for us. But even, you mentioned Sanders, you think of J.C. Jackson. I bet you we can think of 5, 6 others that we've brought in and just have been
I could think
stars
of
on other
O-linemen,
teams.
Greg.
Yeah.
Corey Lindsey for a couple years, and then help me out, guys. The right tackle or left tackle from Green Bay. He played. We signed him to a big
Bulaga.
deal.
Oh,
Bulaga, Brian Bulaga, right?
Yep.
yeah.
That's another one, Greg.
I forgot
I
about
think he had a
him.
Pro Bowl season with Green Bay for a couple years. Came over here, and I don't even know if he played 6 games, Greg. For real.
No, but Lindsley was amazing for us.
I know. No,
Lindsley
he
was
he
amazing. Yeah, Lindsley was
for a
You
amazing.
see him
couple
now?
years, but I'm
He's lost like 70, 80 pounds. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe
a
even
normal
more
line, like a normal offensive lineman.
when they retire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because people like get on, Twitter or X and IG, and they were bashing Darrell Revis for looking fluffy, and it's just like, did you see him play for 10 years? He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, now they
He's,
Yeah.
in my opinion, the second or third best DB of all time. And it's the opposite of offensive lineman, 300 to 200. And then at the same time, it's like, Darrell Revis probably weighs 220, 230, living life, guys. Relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, relax.
Yeah, seriously.
That was fun. I think there's less of a clear winner this time. We'll leave it up to the viewers to
Yeah,
kind of
true.
vote and select. I think we all had a terrific teams, and that just goes to show you how great the Chargers have been. Thank you guys once again for tuning in, for listening. This was our 6th episode, and we're not even into the training camp yet, so we're just excited. The content's going to keep getting better. Our family's going to keep growing. We love talking Chargers football with you guys. Stay tuned. Right after this, I'll be going live on Instagram to announce the winner of the Omarion Hampton jersey giveaway. And any last words, guys, before we sign off?
Got nothing. Bolt
Just
up.
excited. Yeah,
Bolt up.
Excited, man.
Bolt up. See you guys next week.